So it's the time you all have been waiting for. I know that as I sit here before you, you know me as a cast member on The Real Housewives of Potomac. And I know some of you guys are tuning in because you want to get the latest, the greatest insider tea about RHOP. Well, I will be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac. Hey y'all, it is Dr. Wendy Osefo. Welcome to another episode of The Dr. Wendy Show. Before we jump in, I just want to thank you guys for watching, for liking, for subscribing, for commenting. I mean, I feel the love through the screen and the way that you guys have supported me for these past few episodes. I am forever grateful. So continue to show support. I feel it. It gives me energy. And we're doing this thing together. Y'all, in the words of the great Marlo Hampton, this week has drained me. I mean, this episode, we're going to talk about everything from politics to Beyonce, and it's finally time for me to address some things from the Real Housewives of Potomac. So we're talking about it all. Get ready, buckle your seatbelts for another episode of the Dr. Wendy Show. Let's get it. Guys, it is what we have all been waiting for. The premiere of the Renaissance movie by Beyonce is officially out. And can I just say, as someone who actually went to the Renaissance World Tour, baby, not only did I go, I experienced it, okay? I was two-stepping beside Jay-Z. I was taking selfies with Mama Tina. I felt all of the things, okay? But now it's time for us to watch the movie. And my question for y'all is, one, are we wearing the same outfits we wore to the concert, to the movie premiere? Because I got a custom-made outfit, and I need to know if I could finally wear the same outfit because it's hanging right now. And before I put it in a little encased like glass thing, I need to wear it one more time. But I'm so excited because I feel like the Renaissance concert, for me, seems like something that I will be talking to my kids about years from now. It's like the people who got to see Michael Jackson perform. They got to see Thriller. And when I was there amongst the people, it was an energy, an experience that I've never felt before. I remember one of the people who I went to the concert with just started crying. And we were all like, why are you crying? And she was like, just can't believe I'm here. And that's how I feel that this experience has been. It's like a movement. So I just want to shout out everyone who is going to go see Renaissance the movie. Let me know what your experience was. Let me know if you love it. Let me know if you felt the energy or if it was different. Was the feeling of watching the movie different than the feeling of attending the concert? Or like, what was that like for you? But before we move on from Beyonce, I just want to crystallize one of my favorite moments from the concert. She had on a pink ensemble and she was singing. And she looked at me. Guys, right here, look. She looked at me. And while she was singing her lyrics, she said, I love you. To me, Beyonce looked me in the eye. She could have looked at anybody. I mean, it was thousands of us in New Orleans, baby. She could have looked at anybody, but she chose to look at little old me and say, I love you, boo. And to that, Beyonce, I want you to know, I love you too! Y'all go see Renaissance. Shout out to Beyonce. Thank you for all you've done for music. Thank you for all you've done for our generation. We see you, we salute you, and we appreciate you. Speaking of Beyonce, one of my not career affirming, but just life affirming songs that I love and I often sing to my daughter is Brown Skin Girl. Brown skin girl, his skin just like pearl. I love that song. And, you know, I was made aware of something that happened that really made me think of not just brown skinned girls, but just Black girls in general. There was an incident that took place at a high school in Prairie Village, Kansas. And I don't need to really get into the details of it. I'll let y'all see the video.
What, nigga, what? 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 I'll fuck
Get it, get it, come on. Hey, somebody come get this.
So basically, long story short, you have this young girl confront and try to have a conversation with two of her classmates, and she's talking to them about their use of language that she doesn't approve of. After that conversation, another incident occurs where the same young lady who was talking to the two other classmates is now approached by a male classmate, and as he's approaching her, he's using the N-word and he starts to physically assault her. In the course of him physically assaulting her, he breaks this young lady's nose. We also see the young lady hit the gentleman back because he's approaching her. This is not okay. This is not okay because after the incident occurred, not only was the young lady suspended, the gentleman was suspended. Now tell me why both of these people, the young man as well as the young lady, are receiving the same punishment. How and in what world is it okay for this student to not only assault this young lady physically, but while they are doing it, they're using racial slurs? Is that not, to some level, a hate crime? Now, fast forward, since the incident happened and there was outcry, including me, because I called the school. I commented on one of the pages that showed it, and I said, tell me the name of this high school. Not only were the people kind enough to tell me the name of the high school, some of them even provided the phone number. Not only am I outraged by it, this is something that needs to get national attention. Granted, fast forward, the gentleman has now been charged with a felony, but this made me immediately think of that saying, I believe it was Malcolm X, that said the most disrespected creature on this earth is a Black woman. Why is this young lady being assaulted by a male counterpart that the male counterpart is using this level of language, and administrators within the school looked at this situation because there's clearly cameras, because that's how we're watching it. You looked at this situation and said both of these people deserve the same punishment. Why? Who's responsible? Who are the administrators here? At what point are you guys going to start protecting children in your schools? And what is the long-term ramifications for this male student who hit this young girl? Because it's clear that this male student not only had physical aggression towards her, but mentally where he is to use such language and use it in the heat of hatred? What are we doing here? Now, these are minors, so I'm not going to dig in too deep. But you guys are quick to expel students because their hair doesn't fit the dress code. You guys are quick to expel students because you don't like the ways in which their parents talk to you. So now my question to you and to all schools is, if you guys are expelling Black students because their hair goes against the dress code, what are you going to do to this student here, white student, who used derogatory language while physically assaulting a female classmate? Please know that this situation, I have made it a personal situation. So it may not be in the headlines next week, but to everybody, to the school board at Prairie Village, Kansas, please know Dr. Wendy is on you. And I will be keeping an eye to the long-term consequences of that student. Because if that student is not kicked out of that school, if that student is allowed to stay in that building after they've shown the use of that language to a school community that has Black and brown students, call me Dorothy, because we're going to Kansas, baby. I will be there. Thank you. Welcome to the Fourth Degree. During these segments, when I talk about issues, the goal is not only to highlight things that are going on, whether it's locally or internationally, but to effectuate change. You know how people make the comment and they say, man, you're giving me the fifth degree. You're pressing me out. You're asking me a lot of questions. That's what you should keep in mind when we have our fourth degree segment. It is time for people to know that they will be held accountable. So every time you see the fourth degree, know that accountability is on the horizon. Let's get into it. Speaking of the ways in which we do not protect Black and brown bodies, this week, something else happened. I'm not sure if you guys remember, in 2019, 23-year-old Elijah McClain was basically killed at the arms and at the hands of police officers in Aurora, Colorado. That case has always stuck with me. It always stuck with me because as a mother, you often look at these situations and you see your own children. I don't know if I ever shared this, but part of the reason why I got so into social justice issues was because of the passing of Trayvon Martin. When I saw Trayvon, I saw every Black boy that I grew up with. And with each passing year, we have seen so many Black men killed at the arms of police officers or, for Trayvon Martin, people who want to play police. Elijah McClain was no different. A 23-year-old young boy. I believe his figures are he was 5'6", 140 pounds, walking home. And for some reason, they thought he was a danger or harm to society. These police officers proceeded to put him in a chokehold, a move in which has since now been outlawed. They did it to this young boy. They put him in a chokehold so many times that he was in and out of consciousness, several times. He even threw up on himself. If that wasn't bad enough, when the paramedics arrived, they injected him with ketamine. Ketamine to the level that was beyond what his frail body could even handle. Elijah McClain passed away. And I want to crystallize to you guys who he was. Because while he was being assaulted by police officers, these were his words. I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting. I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat. I respect all life. Forgive me. All I was trying to do was to become better. While his life was in peril, he was pleading with the officers to let them know that he was a good person. So many times, Black people especially, we have to let people know we are not bad people in order for them to treat us with some level of dignity. You often see that with patients going to the emergency room. I have friends who are medical professionals, and they will say they have had Black and brown people come into the ER with gunshot wounds, And they are telling the doctor, please don't let me die. I'm not a gang member. Why do Black people always have to prove their self-worth to white people to exist in the white world for us to be treated like equals? Why did this young boy have to use his last dying breath to try to argue with 3 police officers who could care less about him and his well-being to let him and them know that he's a good person to not kill him? You don't kill people because that's not what you're supposed to do. I don't need to tell you I'm a good person for you to treat me like a human being. But to add insult to injury, 3 of the officers, 2 of them actually, were acquitted. This week, one of the officers was reinstated to his job and then given, allegedly, $200,000 in back payment. You killed an innocent young man. The reason why you are not working is because you are a danger to society. But we are going to pay you for not working? You're reinstating him, which is bad enough, but then you're going to pay him for the months, the days he did not work? Because he's a killer. That's why he didn't work. Why are we paying people to not do what we hired them to do? This is not okay. And when the news broke that this happened, all I could say when I tweeted was, you cannot expect a society or a system that was built to destroy you to protect you. Police officers historically have only been self-sanctioned people who can commit violence to Black and brown bodies. I think it's high time that we realize that the way the criminal justice system is set up, it was never set up to protect Black people. It was actually set up to hurt Black people. And I say that as a granddaughter of a police officer captain. I say that as a sister of a police officer in the NYPD. And as an educator, I don't know if you guys know this, but do you know jails are built on the reading comprehension of children as young as kindergarten and first grade? They look at whether or not children can read, and based on your reading comprehension skills, they will determine how many jails we need to build in the future. Spoiler alert, guess what communities often have low reading comprehension skills due to educational inequities? You want to guess? So when we say all of this stuff is connected, from cradle to career to adulthood, everything is connected. There's no consequences. But to the family of Elijah McClain, to the family of anybody who has died at the arms of police officers, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because I feel like it's almost like you died twice. They kill you the first time, and they kill you the second time by letting your killers get away. And I am so, so sorry. So it's the time you all have been waiting for. I know that as I sit here before you, some of you may have followed my career when I was a political commentator on different networks. But for those in recent memory, you know me as a cast member on The Real Housewives of Potomac. And I know some of you guys are tuning in because you want to get the latest, the greatest insider tea about RHOP. Well, here goes. The truth is, I will be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, but just not right now. As a cast member, for me, it's really important for you guys to watch the season and formulate your own ideas, formulate your own thinking. I don't want to jump into that and interfere. I want you guys to enjoy the show because it is a source of entertainment for you. And I do think there's some fun in trying to piece together the puzzles and try to predict what happened, who said what, how did this start, where did this drama end? And I don't want to steal that joy from you guys. So yes, I'm going to talk about RHOP. I'm going to tell y'all the real deal. I'm going to tell y'all how it happened. And I'm going to give y'all some insider information. But not yet. We need the season to play out a little bit more for you guys to get your sea legs. And once you get your sea legs, baby, I'm telling it all. But until then, enjoy the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 8. We got a lot more ball game left. There's a lot of things left unsaid. There's a lot of things left uncovered. But I promise you, you're going to hear what I have to say in due time. Like I said, this week drained me. So much happened, but I'm glad I was able to recap and talk it through with you all. Also, I want to give a major shout out to Sherri Shepherd and her whole team. I got to go to the Sherri Shepherd show in New York City, and that was so much fun. We will actually be doing a recap of that on this show so you guys can see how it all went down. And also, you guys, I want to shout you out. Like, I feel like part of who I am and what I am is really making sure that people who should have visibility get the visibility. So whether it's your business, whether it's just you, leave me comments. I want to shout you out. Starting next week, we will be doing a segment just for shout outs. So if you have someone that is graduating, if you have someone that's giving birth, if you have someone that's getting married, if you have somebody that you want to tell them don't call me no more, whatever it is, that'll be actually good because I want to say that. I want to say, yeah, so-and-so said she left you on bread. Like, I want to do that. Okay. But whoever it is, let me know what your shout outs are because I will be doing shout outs starting next week. Leave all your shout outs in the comment section under the video and my team will make sure to look through it and do it next week. All right. Thank you so much for watching the Dr. Wendy Show, where our goal is to not only hold ourselves accountable, but the people around us accountable. Like, subscribe, comment, and make sure to tune in to more episodes. Thank you for being here. Love and light.